I want us to dive into what is happening in Guyana. Guyana is found in South America. It's a country in South America that has boundaries with Venezuela, and in the North Atlantic Ocean, of course, it's part of the Caribbean. And there has been a conflict going on in Guyana, and Venezuela is claiming part of Guyana as their territory. It's been a long decade of, beg your pardon, a century problem that has been going on, because Venezuela, in the times of colonialism, Venezuela actually had issues with the British government. They broke up diplomatic ties with the British government, and Guyana was given to, the part which Venezuela is claiming is an oil-rich region. And the reason why I'm bringing this to your knowledge is the fact that we are talking about Bakassi, the same thing, Bakassi. So there is a region in Guyana. Guyana, of course, like I told you before, is a country in South America, and they share boundary with Venezuela, and of course boundary with Atlantic Ocean, and they speak basically English. Guyana is English, and the capital of Guyana is Georgetown. And ladies and gentlemen, I always bring to you updates and to tell you what is happening around the world. You can trust us on information that transpire wherever on this planet Earth. So I dive into this because I thought it wise to bring it to our knowledge, for you to know some of the things that are happening elsewhere, that just like happening in Amazonia. We have to be versed with these things that are going on. Now, Venezuela, in the time of colonialism, Venezuela was represented in a dispute settlement, because Guyana, after Guyana had an independence, Venezuela was claiming ownership of part of it, saying that the part or the boundary, her boundaries were not clearly defined. Yes, that her boundaries were not clearly defined, because Venezuela was represented in this particular agreement by the United States of America. And because Venezuela had diplomatic issues with the UK by then, so these boundaries were defined, and they were the oil-rich region. It was discovered not too long. So Venezuela did not have problem with this, but when they discovered that there was oil in this region, they started laying claims, until we seen recently how Venezuela is struggling to have a military invasion into Guyana. Guyana is, of course, a territory on its own. And now this particular region is an oil-rich region. And Venezuela is claiming to have, they want to organize referendum for the people living in this area. Surely part of these people are Venezuelans. They are claiming that this territory belongs to them because there is oil in this region. Oil. You see the interest, oil in this region. So I bring to you this information because of the case we have with Bakassi. Bakassi is part and parcel of Amazonia. But now you see Biafra is angry that the boundaries were not well demarcated. So they are also fighting, even though it's a little bit different. Bakassi was given to Southern Cameroons. But these guys are angry, but because of the oil that is found in Bakassi, they are claiming responsibility. They are claiming ownership of the land. So you see, everything in this world is driven by interest. It's driven by interest. What is their interest? Why are they doing this? Because of the oil, because of the natural resource that is in this particular place. Petrol, everything, gasoline, you can name the rest. So my dear viewers, once more, I tell you that we are in a situation where we have to manage things meticulously. We have to be very careful. Any Ambazonian, any so-called leader, anywhere, tampering with negotiations on the natural resources and the territorial integrity of the land should do that at his or her own risk. Because in the end, at the end of this struggle, everything, the boundaries of Amazonia will be redemarcated, and we shall know. We shall know exactly where and who falls where. You see, very soon you will hear La Republic of Cameroon can never claim ownership of Bakassi because it's part of Ambazonia. But you see, Biafra is claiming ownership because we share boundary with them. Just as this oil-rich region in Guyana is sharing boundary with Venezuela. Venezuela now claims that the land was stolen from them. They are claiming ownership until they've gone there they want to organize a referendum. They are threatening, an invasion. The government of Brazil, they say no, they will not allow that to happen. Brazil, the United States of America, they say no, it's a big no. That if Venezuela dares invade Guyana militarily, they will get the highest retaliation. And that is exactly what is happening in this part of the world. I thought it wise to bring it to your knowledge, to tell you, and I'm passing this information to all Ambazonian so-called leaders, wherever you find yourself. Don't tamper with the natural resources of Southern Cameroons. If you guys want to exchange the natural resources for whatever thing you need to have to continue to fight the fight, it should be a comprehension from a cross-section of you guys, not one person. It's not your property. It's not your property. You don't have the right. You cannot do that. You cannot do that because any reasonable third party, any reasonable person will never go into any agreement with a single individual. You cannot, because you know very well that it's a country. You understand? That is the thing. So that is exactly what is happening in Guyana. I thought it wise to bring it to your knowledge and to let you know, to see how things are unfolding. I will keep an eye on this particular event, and I will continuously let you guys know how the things are going. Of course, it's world news, it's update, and I pledge to always bring to your knowledge the things that are happening around the globe. Don't forget, Ambazonia is fighting for survival, is fighting for her life. We are fighting for the soul of our country. Never shall we back down. It is independence or resistance forever. My name is Fabiano Diko, an Ambazonian and human rights activist and a self-defense advocate. Thank you very much and have a nice time. Bye-bye.